Welcome to the Sister Street Show with Mary Nunley and Sharon and I, a docu-series, interactive show, and virtual playground where we explore topics around entrepreneurship, online and in-person events, and the games that can be played with all of it. We invite you on our journey of sisterhood discovery and trial error in the adventures of online entrepreneurship. Follow a series or subscribe to the quest.
Mary, kick us off.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Facebook world, wherever you are in the world. Sharon and I are coming at you live today with our special episode of the Sister Street Show. For those of you that have been following us for a while, you're used to us showing up on YouTube on Tuesday mornings, but we thought that with a new month and a new guest, we were going to try something a little bit different. And so what better thing to do on a cold Saturday morning than to go live on Facebook? So this is your co-host, Mary Nunley, along with my fabulous co-host, Sharon Odegura. And today's guest, I'm going to let Sharon introduce because they are business partners, they are friends, and they like to cause trouble in the digital space. So Sharon, welcome Chabidaye, take it away.
All right. Yes, thank you, Mary. And welcome back, everyone. Sharon Otagura, your Ohanapreneur, and we are here to talk about summits. And who better to do so than Chabidaye Jaglal Ramnath, who, along with a 15 to 20 plus year experience in the corporate world, helping people get their goals done through her project management consulting company. During the pandemic, Chabidaye and I found the need from our leadership perspective and our entrepreneurial journey, just like all of you street sisters, the need for exposure, the need to get our community and their voices out to the world so that the impact we want to drive, the influence we want to build, and the income that we all need to make happens. And Chabidaye is the co-founder of the Ohana Event Solutions. She also is the executive producer of the Lead and Lift podcast, all about leadership, communication, and confidence. And she is here to talk to us about why a summit might be a good fit to continue to build and engage your audience and your income. Chabidaye, welcome.
Thank you so much, Sharon. And thank you, Mary. Thank you for that warm welcome.
We are so excited to have you here. I'm just like busily sharing on Facebook as Sharon's talking. So, so Chabidaye, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself in addition to what Sharon just shared?
Well, Mary, like Sharon said, I am coming with a corporate background in banking, actually, where I've worked with, well, two of the number one and number two bank here in Canada. And one of the largest projects I executed was a $3 million project.
Wow.
We had teams across the world. It was a fantastic project, lots of learning opportunities. But then when the pandemic hit and I joined a new business community, I thought, hey, this is exactly a project. It's just in a different state, a different industry. The same methodology applies to the big Fortune 500 companies, to a little business, because we're taking an idea that a business owner has, we're breaking down those ideas into smaller tasks, we're tracking that with the team, and then we're delivering it and we're getting results. So I've applied the same experience that I've done almost 21 years in corporate into the business world, and I've seen tremendous success.
That is phenomenal. So how did you get into the summit space?
Well, it's funny you asked that question, Mary. Last year, as part of a business community, I met Sharon, and in that community, they were training speakers how to get on stages. And what we've noticed is that there were several speakers who had a really important message. They were an expert in that area, but they lacked the confidence to step on a stage and share that message. So myself, Sharon, and 4 other co-hosts brought our expertise together, and we created a summit called Path to Powers, which took place last December. And many of the speakers took their first step onto stages at that point in time. The big takeaway I had from that event was that you could not tell who was a brand new speaker and who was an expert speaker, because when they got into their zone of genius, they had so much power and so much confidence, and they stood in their power on that stage and they delivered their message. That's how that love for summits and events was born. From that point on, Sharon and I worked with several six-figure business owners every quarter in this past year, helping them do an event to grow their email list.
Wow. No, that's pretty amazing. I
Yes,
know.
but I have to say, I'm jumping in, Mary. I know you were going to tap me on the shoulder, but the thing about that event was it wasn't smooth sailing, right? And that's also why we felt compelled to jump in. And Shabani, I'm sure you'll agree with me. It wasn't what we had envisioned the summit hosting experience to be when we first decided, hey, a summit might be a good idea to do. Tell us that story.
I like the way that's just like this pause, but I want to circle back to that comment in just a minute. But before that, some of the people watching, because they're not used to us going live on Facebook, may not even know what a summit is, other than they see these things pop up like, oh, come, sign up for this free summit, or somebody they know is presenting one and they get tapped on the shoulder by somebody saying, hey, could you just click this link and sign up? You don't really have to show up, but I just need to have a certain number of people, say that they're coming, which we'll talk about that in another episode. But for our audience who may not really know what a summit is or why we're even talking about this, could either of you or both of you give us a quick explanation of what a summit is, how it applies, especially in that entrepreneurial space, and then why somebody might want to take that journey that you two had of hosting one, and things to look out for?
Okay, Mary. So I'll jump in first, and Sharon, you add, because you and I are both in this space. So, what is a summit? So, from an attendee perspective, what is a summit? It's these rare events where one speaker goes in that industry and find other expert speakers on a particular topic. So in my case, I'm hosting a summit focused on leadership, confidence, and communication, because those are the trifecta for success in your business and your personal life. So those three themes are dear to me. So I've gone out and I've sourced 17 expert speakers in the field related to those topics. And those speakers come in there and they share their proprietary process or their lessons learned, or the however you want to call it, or the life experience that they've had where they've gotten the most value to add. So in that short period of time, which it would be less than an hour that you hear each speaker, they're giving you the best content, the best information, the best life lesson in business and your personal life that you can get. So from a attendee's perspective, this is a packed 1 day or 2 day event, which is most of the summits, where you get concise information that, let's just say, you wouldn't even get that in university because they would dilute it with so much other information. But you get all these amazing lessons learned from these speakers, or items that they've implemented in their business that you can then take, and depending on what step you are in your journey, you can implement some of those so that you shrink the gap in your learning by trial and error. And I would just add to that, from a summit host perspective, what the hosts get is they also get that learning opportunity. They're also building relationships with the other speakers that they invite, and they also grow their email list. So now they're able to nurture that audience and help that audience solve problems that they would currently have, for example, related to communication, confidence, and leadership. So it's, in how I see it, it's a triple win. It's a win for the attendee coming. It's a win for the host who's hosting the summit. And it's a win for each of the speakers because they get their messages out into a larger audience.
Oh, what
I
a great
love that.
way to explain that. And
Yeah,
it's
I
and
love that.
And it's just, you see summit ads pop up all the time, and a lot of folks are just like, well, what is it? Where's the value? So excellent way of explaining it.
Yes. Well, and it also shows our community because you brought in a term that our friend Catherine always uses too, the triple win. And it is, you don't want to just have one side win. This is not give and take. This is where we bring together people to find success in all areas and in all directions. And Shabada, you said it just so perfectly. A summit simply is a marketing strategy. It's a lead generation tool where you can build your audience, but you should do so, just as you said, for the host, for the audience, and around specific themes or a specific time or problem so that it creates very curated and very focused content that adds value to the community. And then for the host, brings in other experts so that you're extending your reach and your audience. That is
I
great.
love it. I love it. So both of you have been hosts for summits. Both of you have helped other hosts run their summits. I know that this is a 30-minute show, so we're not going to get into the nitty-gritty, but here's my question. If I wanted to host a summit, what are the 3 things I really need to be prepared to do as a host?
Well, so that's where I want to jump in, Mary, because we want to give you the 3 tips, but first and foremost, to consider, is hosting a summit the right thing for you? And then what are the 3 things to get started?
See,
So
that would
if
be one of the first questions, Sharon, is ask yourself, is this the right thing to do?
exactly. Well, and we still want to give the 3 tips of like what to do, but whether you should do it, yes, is like the precursor question. And it goes back to that story because I'll let Shabri tell in brief, but it, it isn't an easy decision, um, and yet it is. But you've got to ask yourself the question. So, Shabri, how do we know, or what should we consider for whether we should host a summit or not to begin with?
So, like you mentioned earlier, Sharon, a summit is a strategy. It's a business strategy. So, how I look at it is that for any business to grow, so let me use a metaphor there for you. If you take a plant, now I love plants, so I'll put plants in there. For the plant to be beautiful and for you to get beautiful blooms, you need to have a really good root system. If the root system is not strong, you're not going to get the beautiful flowers that you want. How I see a summit is that it's a strategy for a business to create those great foundational roots, because at the base of every business, you need customers. And a summit helps you bring in a list of potential customers, so prospects and suspects, like our business coach teaches us. So you have a big pool of clients or potential clients that if your product is the right fit for them, you're able to nurture them and help them find a solution to their problem. So a summit is the strategy that helps you grow that, the roots, the foundations of that business with a large customer base that you're then able to nurture and get into those amazing blooms and wins that all businesses are looking for.
I
Oh, I
love
love
that
it.
analogy. Yeah, so it's like the seeds are, you're seeding trust and you're seeding interest and you're seeding your personality to see whether they are the right color, the right shape, the right, that they like you as their gardener. I love that. That's great.
So then let me re-ask my question.
Yes, now.
So what are 3 things you should think about if you're thinking about hosting a summit? Like, Shabade said, planting the seed. So, as a prospective summit host, do I need to have a certain size email list? Do I need to have, what are some things that I should think about before I even decide, yes, I want to do this?
So I would start, Mary. So 3 of the things that you need to consider is, first of all, what are your business goals? So what goals have you set for your business in this current year, or let's say the upcoming year? And is a summit one of the strategies that can help you achieve that goal? So for example, let's say, one of my friends has a lead magnet setup. I know you've spoken about lead magnet previously, but there's no one coming into that funnel to even get her products or get that lead magnet, right? So if her business goal in the first quarter is to increase her visibility then to a certain amount of clients, a summit can help her do that quickly, because whereas some of the other gurus teach you to go into Facebook groups and try to find your ideal clients, that takes a lot of time. And a lot of us today don't have that time to go in. Plus, Facebook changes the algorithm all the time. We know that. So, some of my friends are not even seeing my posts. So, what we found is in that case, if the strategy aligns with your goal, the strategy of a summit aligns with your goal to increase that list, then it is a good strategy to use to achieve that goal. So first, you need that alignment with your goal. Second, like Sharon mentioned earlier, it needs to be a theme that you're focused on. So that theme could be something in your niche or something that you want to be known for, or you want to be the expert in that niche. So having clarity on that theme is really important, because then you're not attracting random people or random speakers. You know exactly who are the experts you're going after. The third item I found is that if you're like a small business owner and you really want to get started, you really want to get your products out there, you want to start getting customers, the summit strategy is one of the fastest way to do that. And Sharon and I also teach 6 ways to monetize a summit. So as we're doing the planning and we're working with you, we also talk about the monetization strategies before, during, and post the summit.
Wow. That's a
And those are
lot to think
some,
about.
yes, there is a lot, but that's why it's great when you're thinking about a summit to have the clarity. And that was why it was such a great question, Mary, because you want to assess, is this the right thing? A summit is a business strategy. It's not just something, although it seems really exciting to do, that's fun. It is fun, and it should have a purpose for your business. And Chabidaye hit a really key point at the end there where she said, if you're just starting out as a small business owner, that could also mean online. So you can have a brick and mortar business, because we often get that question, and wonder whether a summit is right. And it could be the perfect bridge to an online audience, so long as it's aligned with your business strategies.
I like that. So it goes back to some of the core values that we've been discussing since the start of the Sister Street show about clarity and alignment and knowing what you want. And it also sounds to me that while a summit can be fun and it can be powerful for your business, there's also a time factor involved. Like it's not something where it's not like writing a blog post or a Facebook post where it might not be the best quality, but I could knock something out in, 10 minutes. If push comes to shove, I can write 200 words and put it up on a website somewhere. It may not be the best 200 words, but it's not going to take a lot of time. Whereas I don't think you can do a summit in a day.
Well, you could, but you would not get a big audience. And this is the thing that we hear, right? And so people will tell you that a summit is easy, and it can be easy. But for a summit to be successful, Chabidaye has helped me understand this, even because I'm a high I in the disc. So I can talk all day long. I can turn this on. We decided to go live like 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, right? But to make it successful, you have to have a plan. And that is what Chabidaye is master at. So tell us a little bit about that, Chabidaye.
So Mary, that's where that zone of genius working in the Fortune 500 companies comes in, because for everything that you're doing, we know you need a plan, and then you need to action the plan, because by having a plan alone, it doesn't get done. So for the summit, what we've created is there is an initiation phase to the summit where we talk about, the goals, does it align? What are the values? What are the themes? Those sort of items. But then we actually get into the planning phase of the summit where we set the dates and we look at what are the key items you need to know about to be able to plan the summit. We then go into design and build, and this is where you're creating items such as your graphic, your flyers to showcase the speakers, right? The swipe copy, the social media post. Then we go into the launch, which is the live days of the summit, which is like the top of the mountain, that summit piece. That's just the days you go live, but there's work before you go live. And then there's work after you go live, which is the closure phase of the summit, where let's say some speakers sell their recordings or they have some other workshop or something they sell. You wait until the cart closes, you fulfill, all of the items you have, and then you close that cart. And that takes you to closure. And that's when the summit is officially over. And then you move the participants into a nurture series now to add some additional value. But we have a clear starting point and a clear end point in that process flow to go through the summit. You're probably thinking, oh my God, that sounds like a lot. We can, if we're working together, Sharon and I have executed summits in as little as 6 weeks for our six-figure coach. Or you can, if you're brand new to this and you want to do it yourself with a team, because you need a team to help you do a summit, you can get it done in 3 months.
Well, I was just going to ask that question, like, what's that range? So you already anticipated that, and I love it. So depending on your experience level, how organized you are, you could be something that so let's just say that I got a wild hair and like, oh, I want to do a summit before the end of the year. And here's my business goals. So I could reach out to you, and we're right at that 6-week mark. But if I did my work, I could probably pull that off.
If you have a team, Mary, yes, we can make that possible.
And I'm not saying that I want to do a summit in 6 weeks. I'm putting it out there. I am not ready for that. But there may be people watching this today that are like, oh, wow, that might be a great thing to do for the end of the year or something. And so I'm going to let Sharon talk.
Yes, I'll chime in, because so it's simple. So if you think it's complicated, it's not complicated. It's simple, but it can become complex. And it all starts with a plan, having clarity on your goals, and that can get tricky, right? It's like it's easy to do a to-do list, but it's hard to do a full business plan. It's not complicated, but it is complex because there are trees on the branch that Chabidaye nurtures and waters in her garden as well. So we're open and able to support you in your dreams and your event goals. And there's an opportunity, thank you, Mary, for allowing us to share, to come and watch. If you're curious, what does a summit look like? Come and watch from an attendee perspective. And if you're curious about whether a summit is right for you, there's an opportunity for our intro event on doing it in community, because we don't believe you should do it alone. Chabidaye, would you tell us about those two opportunities?
The two opportunities.
The summit and the workshop.
So your summit and then the workshop, yes.
So if you want to see, if you're interested now as to what is the summit, Sharon and I are hosting a summit on November 12th and 13th, and it's called Lead and Lift Summit, and you can sign up for free. That's the amazing thing about these events. They're usually free, and you cannot get on these speakers' calendars for free. They charge 5 figures and over for a 1-hour session with them, but they are volunteering to come to the event to share their expertise and their knowledge to help you get ready for the next year that we're all hopping into. So to sign up for that free event, you can go to leadandlift.com/summit. So again, that's leadandlift.com/summit. The other item, so you're going to come to that event on November 12th and 13th. You're going to view it from a participant's view. So you'll be sitting there in the audience. You'll see what's going on stage. We also have an opportunity to join Sharon and I after that event. We can share the dates with you. We can share that out when we do this post, but to actually come and we take you behind the curtains and show you behind the scenes as to how did we prepare for that event. So earlier I talked about the initiation, the planning, the design and build, the event launch, and the closure. We can actually show you what all of those items are so that you too can plan your summit in a 6-week period to a 3-month period with your team, so that you too can grow your email list. You can be known as an expert in your niche. And the summit strategy is one of the fastest ways for you to get that client base to support your business.
Wow. And is there a place where someone can go for more information about the workshop you just discussed? Yes.
Sharon, do you have the link for that?
Yep, I just posted it on Facebook. So it is summitsuccessplan.com/workshop checkout. So it's if you have more questions about it, you can reach out to Chabidaye or myself via email. And then if you just like to sign up for that, you can do so as well. You can reach out on Facebook via Messenger to either of us to set up a call, ask questions about whether the workshop is right for you. But we have really priced it at an entry point so that you can decide. We just heard a story yesterday from a coach who said, sometimes spending a couple $100s to determine what the overall plan is. Can I set my summit success plan and decide, ooh, I think I can do this, or realize, wow, thank goodness I spent those couple $100s, because otherwise I would have spent thousands, not just dollars, but hours, and decide at the end of it, this is not right for me. So we do think it's highly accessible. And hopefully you've seen that we and Chabidaye, especially with her master planning skill, will help you to lay out the summit plan that will create success for you, because it's not just about being on stage, although that's exciting. It's not just about making a bunch of money, although that is necessary. It is about understanding what the whole picture is so that you can determine how that fits into your lifestyle and your business.
Well, I was to say, and especially how it fits in with your overall strategy, because it's much like any business decision you make. You have to look at the tools and the money and the time that you're spending to say, is this currently serving my business now? We're going through that right now in our company with software purchases. Do we still use this software? Do we need this license? Okay, what about this? What about this? What about this workshop? So this is a great time too for people that are beginning to think about what their 2022 business goals are. And I encourage everyone to sign up or ask Chabidaye or Sharon about their upcoming workshop. I'll be there. And we're almost out of time. So Chabidaye, last parting words of wisdom, and then I'll have Sharon take us out. Ooh, that didn't sound good. Close us out.
Close us out.
Outside. Take us outside.
So firstly, Mary and Sharon, thank you so much for this opportunity. The pandemic changed things for all of us. And a lot of business owners now need to step into that digital economy. What we've found, in the past year, Sharon and I working together have found success with our clients doing the summit strategy to increase that base of clients for them to be able to continue to grow that business and share that message across. We believe that, business should be done with integrity. Business should be done with like-minded people, just like what we're doing here and what you and Sharon are doing with the show, because as a business owner, you have up days and you have down days, and you need your community there when you have down days, because I guarantee you somebody else have been in that same exact spot and they've achieved it. So you can't be doing this alone. You need that community. And that's why the show that you and Sharon are doing is fantastic to bring that community together. So my last words is, let's shake off the pandemic. Let's get back doing our business and come on over and see how to do the summit from a strategy perspective. And if it aligns to your business, reach out to Sharon and I, and let's talk about the workshop where you would actually get the planning done for your next event.
I love it.
Excellent. So thank you so much, Chabidaye. It was such a pleasure to have you on this show. And I'll look forward to hosting the summit with you on Friday. So guys, sign up for the Lead and Lift Summit. We can all gain more information on how to communicate better, how to lead ourselves and our communities better, and the confidence that we need to do so. So please join that or the workshop. Reach out to us. And Sister Street Show does happen every Tuesday on YouTube. We will be posting some of the videos out on Facebook, but this was a special one that we wanted to share with you. And until next time, Mary, say au revoir.
Have a wonderful day, everyone. Au revoir for now.
Aloha, guys. Bye.
Bye.
We look forward to having you tune in next week for the rest of the conversation. Thanks for listening to the Sister Street Show with Mary Nanali and Sharon Adagiro. To learn more about the topics discussed today, visit sisterstreet.show.